The Turnspit Dog. Imagine being born with only one purpose to spend your life running beside a blazing fire. For hundreds of years, in Britain, there was a real breed called the Turnspit Dog. Before electricity, meals has to be turned constantly over an open fire. At first, servants did this by hand, but later, people bred dogs to do the job instead. The dogs ran inside a large wooden wheel connected to the roasting spit. As they ran, the meat slowly turned over the fire. A single roast could take hours to cook, so the dogs often ran for long periods in hot, smoky kitchens. Many households kept two dogs so one could replace the other when it became exhausted. To most owners, these dogs were workers, not pets. Some historical writers even claim that cruel cooks frightened tired dogs or threw hot coals near the wheels to make them keep running. Historians can't confirm this happening everywhere, but it reflects how working animals were often treated at the time. One famous story says the dogs were taken to church on Sundays and used as foot warmers. Another says they became frightened whenever they heard the word wheel. These stories have been passed down for centuries, but historians can't prove they happened exactly as described. When machines called clock jacks were invented, the dogs were no longer needed. People stopped breeding them, and the Turnspit dog eventually became extinct. A breed that spent centuries helping cook meals was quietly forgotten. The canary. Imagine going to work every day knowing that if danger appears, you would be the first to suffer. That was the life of a canary. Before electronic gas detectors existed, coal miners carried canaries deep underground. The birds weren't there for their beautiful songs, they were there because they could detect poisonous gases before humans could. Canaries are much smaller than people and breathe much faster. If dangerous gases like carbon monoxide filled the mine, the birds would become weak or collapse first, giving miners time to escape. Many canaries died doing this job. Later, special cages with small oxygen supplies were introduced, allowing many birds to recover if they were removed from the dangerous air quickly enough. Miners often cared deeply for their canaries. Even so, every trip into the mine placed the bird at risk. By the 1980s, electronic gas detectors replaced canaries, ending their dangerous role forever. Today, the phrase, a canary in the coal mine, is still used to describe an early warning of danger. It is a reminder of a tiny bird that helped save countless human lives. The dancing bears. Imagine walking through a town hundreds of years ago. A crowd gathers as a huge bear stands on its hind legs and appears to dance. People smile and clap, but the bear isn't dancing because it enjoys the music. It's doing it because humans trained it to. For centuries, dancing bears were used as street entertainment in parts of Europe, the Middle East, Central Asia, and South Asia. Most of these bears were taken from the wild as cubs of 10 after their mothers had been killed or driven away. They were easier to train than adult bears. Historians and animal welfare organizations agreed that many of the training methods were cruel. Once trained, the bears spent years traveling from town to town, performing in front of crowds. When the show ended, many remained chained until the next performance. To the audience, it looked like harmless entertainment, but for the bears, it meant a lifetime of captivity. far away from the forest where they belonged. Over time, people began to recognize the suffering these animals endured. Many countries banned the practice, and rescue organizations moved surviving bears into wildlife sanctuaries. For some rescued bears, it was the first time they have ever climbed a tree, searched for food on their own, or simply lived like a wild bear. Today, dancing bears are remembered not as entertainers, but as a reminder of how differently animals were treated in the past.